Did you guys ever notice that there's like a disproportionately large number of stupid people with loud opinions on the internet? I see so many comments of people talking shit about the Wolf Pup camper series. I'm here in the 17 JWBL, and because of those people, I'm going to be doing today's video, which is my 2-year review on this camper. So in this video, I'm going to let you know all the good and all the bad, and hopefully you leave more informed, and let's get this party started. We just got done wrapping up our second full season with our Wolf Pup camper. If you're just tuning into our channel for the first time, we own a 2024 Forest River Wolf Pup 17 JWBL, and this camper has been absolutely amazing for our family. Considering the size of the camper dimensionally, I think the layout is perfect. The portions for each space are as good as it's going to get in a travel trailer that's under 23 feet. The Wolf Pup has been our ticket to adventure, and we have thoroughly enjoyed all of our trips in this thing. What I love the most about the camper as a product is sort of surface level, but this camper just looks badass. It has a very overlander look to it, and it's so small and maneuverable, I can basically get this into any campsite anywhere a camper can fit. Its 2-inch lift was especially appreciated out in Wyoming, where I had to really off-road to get out to my spot for a few nights of boondocking. But looks aside, does the Wolf Pup live up to the hype of one of the top-selling camper lines in America? In my opinion, it does without a doubt. If you're a family who loves spending most of your time outdoors and looks at your camper as just a home base to lay your head at night, maybe have a super quick shower, use the bathroom, make some food, this might be the best camper for you. It's relatively affordable, lightweight, easy to tow, and has just about everything you'd need. Now, despite its overlander styling, be aware that if you're interested in boondocking, you're going to have to make some upgrades because you definitely won't last long in its stock configuration, especially if air conditioning is what you're after. Expect to spend thousands to get a proper solar system for that sort of power usage. Or in the off chance you're upgrading your tow vehicle too, I highly recommend looking into the F-150 Power Boost, which has a built-in generator in the bed, something that's worth its weight in gold out in the field. But to run the basics, a couple $100 invested in an extra solar panel or two and some lithium batteries goes a very long ways. And also, don't forget to bring some water jugs because like I've said tons of times, the freshwater tank on this is criminally small for a family camper, and it's actually one of my biggest complaints overall. I think the big thing that everyone wants to know is how is the quality and have you had any major issues with your camper? I am so happy and relieved to report that no, we've had no issues with this camper, at least ones that were caused by the factory. I have created a few issues of my own, but this camper has been awesome. I've found very few things that I would complain about, like there's like little, scraps of wire here and there when you look under stuff. There's some staples that missed, there's some screws that missed. It's embarrassing little craftsman issues. I think the funniest thing that I found is up on the roof. There was a small plastic bag that they just caulked right over a seam and had a plastic bag in there. Really shocking level of laziness, maybe. And then there's one outside that I'll show you in a second. But it's just little things like that, like just not vacuuming up after you're done building a section of the camper. Luckily, as far as build and construction goes, we've had no major issues with anything at all. All right, so we're over here by the slide out. I wanted to show you guys this. Right here, there's a caulk line. Make your way down, and there's just a metal shaving, a huge one. A couple little ones down here, but this really big one, that's totally unacceptable to me. Funny, but that's kind of what I'm talking about. It's just a bunch of dumb little mistakes. Like, why would you caulk over that? Why wouldn't you just move it? Or blow it off, vacuum it, I don't know, stuff like that. So for how big this camper is, I think Forest River actually did a terrific job. We knew exactly what we were getting into. If you've seen a lot of my videos, my wife and I always complain about storage, but we knew storage was going to be a problem. I guess I didn't think storage was going to be as big of a problem as it became. We have a family of 4, we have 2 young kids and another dog now. So storage definitely becomes an issue, but Forest River did a pretty good job with everything you have here. I think the only thing that could have been better is they maybe could have made this a little deeper, maybe something up there just to give us some more. And I had to make this door down here, I just call it our dirty laundry drawer. There was no way to access this space other than remove the couch cushion, and that's just not convenient. Oh, it's not just the couch cushion. There's actually a piece of plywood. So they could do this on their own. That was a really cheap and easy upgrade. But you got these drawers. These are lifesavers. You know, under here is actually more useless than it looks because of the refrigerator, the outside refrigerator. So this really, we can't get much in there, especially because there's the sink. In the newer Wolf Pups, they actually knocked this out, and there's a pull-out drawer here. That would be cool, but we don't have that. I know that's an upgrade that a lot of people do. I just haven't got to it yet. Up here, this is just solid storage all the way through. No dividers, nothing. And then, of course, under the bed, plenty of storage that you can access from outside. I did add these. Don't really get much use out of them. You can't put much in them. They're like a 4-inch wide, little cabinet. The bathroom storage is actually pretty good. This is a nice size cabinet. Pretty much everything under here is usable. That's nice. We added this. It's kind of a lifesaver as well. I'm really indecisive on the U-shaped dinettes. We actually really liked this when we bought it, but now that I think about it, like, it's very hard to get back here, even for our small children. So I don't know how useful the U-shaped dinette is. I understand that it's nice that you can drop the table down and turn it into an extra bed and then sell it as something that sleeps like 2 more people. We've only done that one time, and it was when my buddy was with me in Wyoming. We broke that down and he slept there. But realistically, I don't know how many families are going to be doing that all the time. Because this camper is so small, you really need this table space. And do you really want to every morning and every night be breaking down and setting this back up? Really, a bunch of our stuff just ends up in all of the, just all the way around the dinette and on the table. So because of that, I'm starting to lean towards the idea that maybe this should have a booth style table setup, because then you gain a little bit of storage back here. And you could add like a pantry cabinet, and I think that would be super useful. So obviously the kitchen setup is very small, but that's completely fine with us. The quality of it is really what matters, and I have no complaints. We got a nice solid countertop, stainless steel sink that looks really dirty. I should have cleaned that out first, but the faucet's nice. The Furrion 2-burner stovetop is just fine for us. We don't use this that much. We do most of our cooking outside. So the kitchen space, yes, it's small, but it works for us just fine. I feel like this refrigerator is actually really big for the size of this camper, and it has more than enough space for our family. The cool thing is it runs off the 12-volt system, which means it runs on the battery. So you can run this. So your refrigerator is running off-grid, and it even has an off-grid mode where it saves some battery, which is a pretty cool little feature. The bathroom is small, but I don't have any complaints, at least no major complaints about it. We have good storage in here. We have a bathroom, which is awesome to begin with. I think a lot of people look at this shower head and think, oh, it looks so good. It looks so fancy. Honestly, I don't like this. It's almost too complicated. We would never use these sprayers. I have used this one and this one. These, just get rid of them. It's overly complicated. The bathroom is too small for a system like this. We get water all over the place. That's really my only complaint. There is obviously a fan up here. I have it covered right now because it is getting cold out. The sink bowl itself is really small, and it can be kind of awkward with how tight this is. But I mean, we have 2 sinks in our camper, so it doesn't bother me. Although we do have some complaints about the storage inside the camper, I think the outside storage compartment game is really strong on the Wolf Pup. The front compartment, which is located under the bed, isn't fully pass-through, but it is a large space where you should be able to store just about everything you're going to need. But if that's not enough, I really love the rear cargo door, or as I like to call it, my garage space. This space is maximized by flipping up the bottom bunk, so not only do you get good depth for all your storage bins, but you also get some decent height back there too. If you remove the front wheels, you should actually be able to fit at least 2 full-size adult bikes back there.
What's up, sleepy puppy?
Yeah, this is the best you've ever behaved. One of the biggest complaints from everybody that has a Forest River camper, at pretty much any camper on the market, is these backup cameras are useless. Like, they just suck balls. And my solution was the cheap Amazon wireless Bluetooth camera systems. They're great. I have a video on my channel. I'll put the link in the description. Check that out. You can get them for like less than $100 and way better. Just so easy, plug and play. And it's just like one of the #1 things I would get for my camper. Also, I don't like that campers have ladder prep. Just build the ladder in it, especially when you have a camper designed like this. This thing has a really overland style look, real adventurous looking, but you have to buy your own ladder to get on top. So, I don't know, little things. I also think it's kind of crazy that the black tank flush is on the opposite side of the tank valves. That probably shouldn't be. It would be really convenient if that was, you know, over there. Now, there are some cheaper campers with a similar layout you can get, and I'd be lying if I said we didn't consider one of those to save a few bucks, but our Wolf Pup has some options that I almost thought we didn't need. Like the Lippert quick drop stabilizers on the front and rear, which makes stabilizing the camper a super quick job because they allow you to use a drill to power them up and down. Another being the propane quick connect tap that we use for most of our cooking outside, and I'll even use it at home on my grill once in a while. And finally, let's not forget the power tongue jack. It's crazy to think I almost got a camper that had a manual crank tongue jack, and looking back at that, it's kind of funny because I definitely cannot imagine hitching up without this thing at this point. This clip isn't going to show it, but I thought it was the only clip remotely relevant to towing, so I'm going to go with it. Towing the Wolf Pup is simple, but there are some things you got to know. It's a very lightweight camper that sits very high, has a low tongue weight, and a single axle. So what all this means is that I do experience a pretty good amount of sway and occasionally some porpoising. The good news about the sway is that with my truck and weight distribution hitch, I don't feel an ounce of it in the steering wheel, but I get a little bit of the pucker when I check the mirrors and see the camper dancing behind me at freeway speeds in even a moderate wind. Some of it could probably be mitigated by dropping my speed, but that doesn't account for all of it. A dual axle would definitely help feel much more planted, but I get why they went with a single axle on this camper. Before our big summer trip, Michelle and I were absolutely convinced that we needed a bigger camper as soon as possible. Packing for 2 weeks was very challenging, but after it was all done, I fell even more in love with the Wolf Pup camper. It pulls so nicely behind our truck, even going through the mountains and into the backcountry. As of right now, the plan is to for sure use the camper for one more season, and then we're going to reevaluate on whether we buy a bigger camper or not. Some things we're looking for are obviously more storage, a private master bedroom, and an outdoor camp kitchen with a griddle would be nice because pulling my Blackstone in and out of the camper is actually more annoying than I imagined. Either way, we got time to look around because we still got some exploring to do in this camper. I hope you guys learned something so you can be a more informed consumer if the Wolf Pup is something you're looking into. If you could, do me a huge favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Check out some of my other camper and adventure videos. YouTube makes it very difficult for small creators to grow, so any help is greatly appreciated, and we'll see you next time.
Your turn.
My turn.
Cameron's turn.
Oh, the winner!
Cameron won!